The instant I nudged the door open with the birthday cake in my hands, the private room erupted in rowdy cheers. Adrian had his arms around the office secretary, kissing her through a soggy tissue. When they saw it was me, the din collapsed into stunned silence. The girl's face flushed scarlet. The tissue fluttered to the floor, and she hid behind Adrian, palms over her cheeks. He flicked a glance at me, face chilling. Way to kill the mood. I set the cake down, calmly told everyone, sorry to interrupt, and walked out. A coy female voice piped up, Lou, do you think Xia got the wrong idea? I could explain. She loves throwing tantrums. This isn't new. By tonight she'll be apologizing and begging. Ignore her. Laughter reignited, shattering the hush. 10 years together and Lu Ji is still Serena's kryptonite. Everyone knows Serena's been his groupie since college, but even clay figurines have a temper. I had loved Adrian like life itself for 10 years, yet disappointment after disappointment piled up until the heart simply flatlined. The door closed on their snickers. I hailed a cab to the apartment we'd shared 8 years. It was cold, empty, laced with the faint sweet smell of leftover buttercream, the birthday cake I'd baked for him. 10 years of knowing him, 8 of living together, and every single birthday cake had come from my hands. This would be the last. My phone pinged, Adrian. The crew's dragging me out all night. The way you acted today embarrassed me. Figure out how to deserve the title, Lou. I backed out of the chat. Instagram auto-refreshed into Chloe's new post. In the dim photo, Adrian and Chloe were still kissing while everyone cheered. Caption, a kiss for luck, your dare. My truth. Adrian had already liked it. Comments overflowed with fire emojis. We met in high school. In college he coaxed me into bed and we'd been stuck to each other ever since, 8 years running. He refused to let me post couple pictures anywhere. Never liked or commented on my Instagram either. I'd assumed he valued privacy. Turns out he just didn't want me in his public life at all. I powered the phone off and went straight to bed. For the first time in 8 years I didn't wait up for him. Around midnight the front lock clicked. Then wham, bedroom door kicked in. Light blazed. A pillow slammed into my face. Sleep vaporized. Adrian loomed, reeking of cigarettes and whiskey. Serena, you just have to prove you exist. Huh, fun ruining people's night? You know an allergy can kill someone? You baked a mango-filled cake out of spite because Chloe's around me all day. Now she's in the When did you get this poisonous? While he raged I pieced the story together. My homemade birthday cake had mango cream. Chloe was allergic and ended up in the hospital. Adrian blamed me. Anger and disappointment pinned me to the mattress. Old me would have screamed. Tonight I didn't have a single syllable left. The relationship was rotten. Stinking, nothing worth salvaging. My cheek throbbed where the pillow hit. It had to be swelling. My silence he took as guilt. His tone eased a notch, but stayed icy. Cook some congee tomorrow. Take it to the hospital. And apologize to Chloe. The kid suffered and still begs me not to be mad at you. Time to pay for what you did. I swallowed the bitterness. Met his eyes. It was your birthday. I baked that mango cake for you. It's your favorite flavor. I'm not her mother. How would I know her allergies? Adrian, shut up. He finally remembered. Year 2. Back when I was a baking rookie, I'd burned my hands on the pans just to make him something sweet. Adrian hated desserts except ripe Cape mangoes. For his birthday, I diced a whole mango into silky pulp for the filling. He drank a lot that night, dabbed cream on my face, my neck, licked it off while whispering, baby, you're so sweet. The memory softened both the room and his scowl. He stepped closer, reaching to touch the red welt, but I jerked away. The cloud of perfume still made me sneeze. Silence fell. Then his phone rang with a custom tone. Chloe. He frowned but answered. A delicate, tear-soaked voice spilled out. Sorry, I ruined your birthday. I even told Sister Xia about my near-death mango story at the patisserie. Maybe she forgot. Please don't fight because of me. Zge. I'm alone here and terrified. Can you come? He murmured. Don't worry. I'll be right over. Stay put and finish the drip. The instant he hung up, his gaze turned arctic. Now you lie. Serena. Jealousy lands someone in the hospital and you still won't apologize? Pathetic. Tomorrow morning, cook pork liver congee and take it to Chloe. He grabbed his suit jacket and left. He could be gentle, could be considerate, just never for me. At the door, without looking back, Serena. Keep this up and forget about me visiting your mom. The slam echoed. My heart frosted over. 8 years together. And Adrian said he wasn't ready for family obligations, so we'd never met parents or talked marriage. 2 months ago Mom was blindsided by lymphoma. It galloped. She's wheelchair-bound now. Chemo and radiation useless. Doctors say she could go any day. Her wish, see her baby girl in a wedding gown. I'd sobbed and told him. He stuffed a card into my hand, dried my tears, said, take care of her. Don't worry about money. When things calm down I'll visit with you. I waited. 2 months, never mentioned again. Now he dangles that promise like a whip to make me grovel to Chloe. Thinking of mom in that bed, I felt wrapped in ice. Dawn barely broke when I reached the ward with a thermos. Adrian gave me a nod, as if pleased I'd learned obedience. Serena came to say sorry, he announced. I stared coldly, silent. He took the thermos, poured ivory porcelain full of gloopy pork liver congee. Serena cooked your favorite, eat up. Adrian's calendar was packed with client dinners, and after he landed in the hospital with a bleeding ulcer, I refused to let anyone else feed him. I simmered every restorative porridge myself. He'd always turned his nose up at offal, so when the doctor said he needed iron, I spent a morning trimming pork liver, soaking it in milk, then poaching it into a velvet soft congee that I carried downtown to his office. He shocked me by taking a second helping, mumbling through the steam, "This stuff's actually good." After that he asked for pork liver congee 4 days straight. It's tricky, leave it 30 seconds too long and the liver turns grainy. So I stood over the pot every morning, stirring like my life depended on it, happy because he was finally eating. Only later did I learn every spoonful I'd cooked had slid from my bowl into Chloe's mouth. She perched on the edge of his hospital bed, elbows on his tray, sipping from the spoon he held, fingers hooked through his cuff. She glanced at me and blinked sweetly. "Serena, I don't blame you for forgetting my mango allergy. I'm the greedy one. Your cooking is magic. Both the congee and the cake." Adrian tapped the bridge of her nose. "Little glutton." The nurse bustled in, beaming. "Lou dotes on his wife. She noticed me hovering with the insulated pot and sending an assistant at dawn. So thoughtful. Pork liver porridge is perfect post-op nutrition for Lou," she added. Adrian's smile froze. He flicked a look at me. When I stayed silent, he turned to the nurse. "When can I be discharged?" "Pretty much today. You only needed outpatient IVs, but Lou insisted on keeping you here to be safe. Guess you can relax now." I stepped into the corridor and pressed my spine to the cool tile. Inside, their chatter melted into cottony noise. I flashed back to the night I woke with stabbing cramps, cold sweat soaking my t-shirt. I couldn't straighten my back. I called Adrian. "Serena, if you're sick, dial 911. "Why are you calling me? I spent a week in the ward dropping 15 pounds. He never showed. He never asked. Love or indifference? There's no softer third option. I just kept my eyes shut, pretending. Adrian appeared, dangling the empty pot. I talked to Chloe. She's letting it go. She's not petty. She won't hold a grudge. He waited, generous as a king conferring a title. I keep my word. Once the craziness settles, I'll drive you to visit your mom." He studied me, expecting gratitude. "Not necessary," I said flatly. I took the pot, walked 3 steps, and dropped it into the trash bin outside the nurse's station. His hand clamped my wrist. "What's your problem? She's a kid alone in this city. I look out for her. How many times do I have to say she's like a little sister? You keep picking fights. You're really trashing the thermos. Have I spoiled you that much?" "Just throwing out garbage," I said, and left. 8 years I'd chased Adrian, orbited him, scheduled my life to his. Friends joked I was his full-time groupie and I laughed along. I told myself he was the classic ice queen type. Cold outside, warm within. 8 winters should have cracked the ice, but he stayed frozen. The truth was simple. I'd forced a story that was never mine. My phone pinged. Reminder from the bridal boutique. Today had been our appointment for the wedding shoot. It wasn't an official engagement session. It was a promise I'd coaxed from him last New Year's Eve. Breathless under the sheets. "Let's put on fancy clothes and take one set of photos." Just one. He'd said yes, and I'd floated for days. I called the boutique to apologize. "I can't make it today. I'll pick up the gown later." The stylist answered. "Lou mentioned you're tied up. He sent a colleague to model the dress so we can still do the sample shots." I knew every word, yet the sentence made no sense until it did. Chloe's new Instagram post. A picture-perfect wedding shoot. She wore the gown I'd sketched for a designer and waited 4 months to have sewn. In the live photo the photographer urged. "Closer. You too. Perfect." Adrian's arm circled her waist. Her head nestled on his shoulder. Same dress, same guy, same lighting, only the bride had rotated. I inhaled until my lungs stung, double-tapped the post, and commented, "Wishing you forever. Nothing left to guard." I walked until streetlights blurred, then dragged myself home. Adrian was already on the couch. He caught my expression and scowled. "What? I'm not allowed in my own house now. Figured you'd still be finishing the wedding shoot," I muttered. He pulled me down, meeting my hand. "Silly jealous pocket. I knew you'd overthink." He pointed at a suitcase. "See, brought your dress back. We'll shoot whenever you want. Today was a favor. Her parents keep pushing marriage. She needed pictures to stall them. She begged, so I helped. She made me come straight home to explain. His eyes were bright and sincere. If not for the hickey blooming under his collar, I might have bought it. I slid my fingers free. Adrian, we're done. I'm out. His hand stopped mid-rub. Pardon? The temperature in the room plummeted. Serena, choose your next sentence carefully. If you hadn't thrown a tantrum and ditched the session, I wouldn't have had to stand in, he said. They're just pixels. Don't be dramatic. My patience has edges. I can see the edges, I replied. That's why I'm stepping off the cliff. We're over, Serena. We are breaking up. He glared, then kicked the suitcase. The gown tumbled out, a cloud of white across the hardwood. You'll regret this, he barked, and slammed the door hard enough to rattle the frame. I picked up the dress and spent an hour cutting it into confetti. A gown another woman wore. A man whose heart was never in my keeping. 8 years of pleading. What exactly was there to regret? I packed one suitcase, locked the door on a lifetime of souvenirs, and moved back to my mother's apartment that same night. Before I'd finished unpacking, my phone exploded. Yay! Serena, 8-year marathon ends at the altar. Thrilled your dream came true. Send invites. Can't wait for the big day. Text slid in faster than I could swipe. Adrian's message popped to the top. Serena, this is what you wanted. Right. Happy now. Let's stop the circus. I opened Instagram. He'd pinned a photo. Bride in silhouette. Adrian's lips to her temple. Misty filter. Caption at Serena beautiful is coming. Stay tuned. I laughed until my ribs ached. No one recognized the outline better than I did. That throat. That chin. Chloe. Not me. The only time I ever appeared on Adrian's Instagram. I still wasn't really there. Fine. It's over. Really over. I left a comment. Single now. Don't contact me. Then I blocked Adrian. And the world finally went quiet. I pulled the blanket over my head and slept like the dead. When I woke up my skin had color again. I put on something bright and took the bus to the hospital to see Mom. I didn't want her last sight of me to be that walking corpse I'd become. I didn't want her final days wasted on worrying about me. Of course. The minute I stepped into the ward, Adrian walked in behind me with a huge flower basket. He's always had his ways. He'd never once asked which hospital, but when he feels like it, he can find anything. He's handsome enough to begin with. And now, playing the humble suitor, he knelt beside Mom's wheelchair. Auntie, I just landed from overseas and came straight here. Let me peel you an apple. Serena told me they're your favorite. Mom patted my hand, smiling. This child doesn't think. You're so busy, Adrian. And you still came. I'm really no bother. Every word a lie. Yet they put roses in her cheeks. And I hadn't the heart to smash the illusion. Auntie, you have to get better so you can come to Serena's and my wedding. To make the lie look real, he pulled out his phone and showed her that side profile shot of him and Chloe. Look, Auntie, our wedding shoot is already done. We're just waiting for you to feel well enough. Mom smiled at the photo for the longest time, then squeezed my hand. All I need is to see my little girl happy. She closed her eyes, turned toward the window, and I caught the glint of a tear. She dabbed it away and told us she was tired, shooing us out early. Adrian and I left the room single file. In the corridor, he caught my wrist. Serena, stop the drama. All right, you got what you wanted. I visited your mom. I'll marry you. What more could you possibly need? Besides, your mother likes me, doesn't she? You really want to keep this up until the day she dies? Exactly. He's always known I love him, known I want to marry him, known my mother's last wish is to see me settled. He holds every card, and whenever he thinks I'm throwing a tantrum he flicks one down like alms, waiting for me to grovel. He'd even stoop to using my mother. Suddenly frantic footsteps pounded behind us. A nurse shouted, "Code blue. Bed 19. Bed 19. Crash cart." Now, I froze solid. Bed 19 was my mother, who just held my hand and called me her little darling, telling me to live well. Outside the double doors I waited, but no miracle arrived, only the doctor's sigh. We did everything we could. I'm sorry. In a way it's a mercy. The end stages are agony. On the very day Adrian finally showed up, I lost her forever. At the funeral she lay peaceful in the casket. All the exhaustion and pain smoothed away. Like the perfect son-in-law, Adrian replaced the daughter who was now only a shell, handling every detail. Busy, meticulous. Whenever he had a second he'd pull me into his arms. Xiao shui. Mom just went to heaven. No more pain. Don't cry. Through my tears I stared at him, wondering if Mom had traded her last breath for the tender Adrian I begged the universe to send. The one who would stay and look after her daughter. On the final day, the clerk said I had to sign for the cremation. I scrawled my name through the grief, knowing that after this we would belong to separate worlds. The attendant also handed me a small box. We found this this in her pocket while preparing her. It should go to her next of kin. I curled up against the casket with the box clutched to my chest. Huge wreaths hiding me from view. I needed one last quiet moment with her. Then a woman's voice rang through the hall. Adrian. His tone was ice. What are you doing here? I haven't seen you in days. I missed you. Serena's mom died. She's falling apart. I have to look after her. Didn't you always say she clings so hard it's annoying? You're only staying because her mom croaked and you feel sorry? Even a dog gets attached after 8 years. His face stayed cold. His words colder. Through the flowers Chloe threw herself against him. Chloe, have you lost your mind? This is a funeral hall. He said no even as his arms circled her waist. Exactly. Makes it hotter. Don't you think? Didn't you say Serena's a dead fish in bed? So frigid you can't even get it up? Last week in the studio you had me put on the wedding gown. Then you fucked me in the fitting room. Remember how wild that was? It's been days. Tell me you haven't thought about it. You little demon. I crouched behind the casket, frozen solid. Through the gaps in the wreaths, I watched them half undress. Heard their low gasps and moans. They were so desperate they'd do it in front of my dead mother. I bit my lip until it bled so no sound would escape. As long as I didn't cry. The last thing Mom saw wouldn't be this filth. When they finished, Chloe tossed the crumpled tissues into the wreaths, draped herself over Adrian's neck, and purred. Come over tonight. You've spent days with Serena. It's my turn. He agreed. She blew him a kiss, gave the casket a showy little bow, and click-clacked away in her stilettos. My phone buzzed with a message from Chloe, Big Sis Serena. Adrian didn't notice, but I saw you hiding behind the flowers. If you can swallow that, no wonder you've stuck to him like a dog for years. But you've never seen him on fire like this, have you? After all, you're just a coward hiding behind her dead mommy. When the clerk called Adrian to confirm the cremation time, I crawled out from the wreaths, collapsed against the casket, and sobbed until I couldn't breathe. Back in high school a bad cold turned into myocarditis. The steroids made me gain 50 pounds in a month. Ballooning overnight. Girls that age worship thin and pretty if fat and ugly was a sin. In their eyes, I was trash that had blown up. They didn't want to touch me. Glue smeared across my desk. Dead mice in my pencil case. Routine torture. I'd done nothing wrong except take the medicine I needed to live. Adrian transferred in. Good grades. Killer looks. Instant prom king crown. One evening. Maybe he was just in a great mood. He opened the dark equipment room door and let me out. Laughing. Why mess with her? Look how cute this snowball is. That day he shone brighter than the sun for me. Later my heart healed. The steroids stopped. The weight melted off. My features surfaced. My grades stayed high. And admirers appeared. But Adrian stayed my North Star. I followed him to the same college. Everyone on campus knew how crazy I was about him. I brought him water at practice. Medicine when he was sick. One winter dawn when he casually said he missed the soup dumplings from the West Side Market. I bicycled through snow to get them for his breakfast. After 2 years of chase he graciously agreed to be my boyfriend. We lasted 8 years. I thought the universe had finally rewarded me. Marry the boy who'd been my light. Have kids. Build the home I dreamed of since I was 15. But life refuses fairy tales. My mother left me. My home is gone. My light is dead. 10 years, thrown away. I sent my mother off in silence. The only goodbye I had left to give. Adrian acted as if nothing had happened, worried about me, glued to my side the whole time. Serena, if you want to cry, just cry. Serena, I promised your mom I'd take care of you. I stared at the face I'd loved for 10 years and finally lost it. Slapped him hard. Adrian, you don't get to mention my mother. Get out. His face went cold, darkened. Then he exhaled. Serena, I know you're hurting. He reached for me. I flung his hand off. Serena, he spat. You need to calm down. I looked at him. Calm. When exactly was I not calm? Was I not calm when I watched you kiss Chloe? Was I not calm when you used your wedding shoot pictures with Chloe to lie to my mother? Or was I not calm when you and Chloe shamelessly fooled around right in front of my mom's casket? You thought mom didn't know? I opened the box she'd left. Inside was a photo of me at 18. On the back, the handwriting was shaky. Nothing like her usual steady script. She must have been in agony when she wrote it. Sweetheart, he's not the one. Love yourself. Mom loves you forever. My mother, she'd known with one glance that the girl in that photo wasn't me. At the very end of her life, she'd protected her daughter's dignity and fought for her until her last breath. My eyes burned, but no tears came. I hurled my phone at Adrian. He stood there like a block of wood. It cracked against his forehead and blood ran down his temple. Adrian, the last 10 years, I was blind. From now on, you and Chloe, stay out of my world forever. Don't ever show up again. When I finished, every last trace of color drained from Adrian's face, leaving only the smear of blood and panic in his eyes. None of it mattered anymore. I took Mom's ashes home to our little town, laid her to rest, and opened a tiny pastry not far from her grave. On sunny days, I bring a small bouquet, sit by her headstone, and talk. I tell her over and over that her little girl is fine now. Sunshine every day. Real happiness, so she can stop worrying. Back in the shop, I bake delicate little cakes, strawberry, blueberry, cute shapes, fresh flavors. The neighborhood kids adore them. One day a sweet toddler with twin buns asked, "Sis, can I have a mango cake?" I ruffled her hair, smiling. "Sorry, baby. No can do. I'm allergic to mango." Adrian's POV. Serena left. Just like that. No looking back. I shouldn't feel a thing. She's the one who clung to me for 8 years. Maybe a twinge of habit. Nothing more. Because of that, I fired Chloe and wrote her a fat check. She said she didn't want money. She loved me. I told her, "I don't love you. Choose. Walk away broke. Or walk away rich." Tears streaming. Chloe took the money and left without hesitation. That's how it started. Chloe showed up, slim and willowy, profile a little like Serena at 18, stirred something in me. Only now do I realize my first flicker of pity was because she resembled young Serena. But when she cried, it didn't ache the way Serena's tears did. I didn't like it. Nothing like Serena. Serena's gone. But every gift, every penny I gave her, she left behind. It gnaws at me. My place is stained with her everywhere. Yet she walked off spotless. I stuffed trash bags full, the little sunflower she painted, the diffuser she bought for my insomnia, the throw pillow she bragged about after her trip, the neat rows of frozen shepherd's pie dumplings she knew I loved. When the apartment was empty, I couldn't breathe, so I unpacked every single thing and put it back. Only then did the place feel like mine again. Serena was baggage. I should be thrilled she's gone, but I'm furious. She barged into my life, spoiled me rotten, then tossed me aside like I was nothing. The thought drives me to drink until my eyes blur. I didn't cry when my parents split when I was a kid, so how can I tear up over Serena? I call her, demand, "You forced your way in. Who says you get to walk out first?" Then I can't even cry, because the call won't connect. She's blocked me. I go after her. I show up in her town. She's still hopeless. Tiny cake shop, circling a pocket-sized kitchen like a hamster. I'm livid. If she'd only screamed at me when she caught me with Chloe, maybe I'd have married her on the spot. Our kid could be the age of the children buying her cupcakes. I don't know, but liquor makes everything clearer. I start loving alcohol. People warn me I'll wreck my body. Whatever. Serena hasn't warned me, so their words are worthless. They're the ones who claimed Chloe was better. Blind fools. Then I cough up blood. It hurts, unbearable. I dial Serena. "I'm sick. Could you make me a plate of shepherd's pie dumplings?" Dead tone. Every time. Only then do I remember. She blocked me ages ago. I recall telling her, "If you're sick, call the hospital, not me." So, clear-headed, I dial 911. The paramedics come. I don't need Serena. I just need to visit her town now and then. Breathe the same air. Later the doctor says there's a mass on my liver. Growing fast. I don't get the jargon, but the sheet says end-stage liver cancer. This has to be my ticket. Serena's soft-hearted. She'll come nurse me, but I can't call. I sneak back to her town. I crouch outside, staring at her cakes in the window. Something's missing. Finally I realize, no mango cake. I hand 100 to the same toddler with twin buns. Ask the lady inside for a mango slice. Okay, I'm on chemo. Mouth bitter. Desperate for sweetness. Minutes later the kid hands the bill back. "Uncle, sis says she's allergic to mango, so she never makes that flavor." Tears flood my face. What did I do to Serena that everything tied to me makes her body recoil? I squat on the curb, bawling like an idiot. Then I leave her town for good. My body keeps failing. I sleep more than I'm awake. That's fine. When I'm under, there's no pain. And Serena's still beside me. I know the best thing for her is my permanent absence. Still, I'm selfish. I write a will. Every cent, every property, all of it goes to Serena. She'll be furious. She'll curse me. Maybe she'll cry. God, I miss her.